The Supreme Court has ruled. DOMA is dead. And it's about damn time. I have been waiting for this day. Now the problem here, the only problem with this is, it doesn't kill the fact that everybody can get married everywhere. There are states out there still that are holdouts. Wisconsin being one of them, that you cannot be legally married. You can get married in only a small portion of the states. New York, for example, legalized same-sex marriage in 2011. Vermont, 2009. New Hampshire.
That's because New York's better than the other states.
Well, Vermont got it ahead of time in 2009.
Yeah, and they like to rub their noses in it.
Yes, they do. And so did New Hampshire back in 2009, and it took effect back in January 2010. Massachusetts did this back in 2003, and it took effect in 2004. Massachusetts, it's going to take effect. It took effect back in May. Connecticut, 2008. And the list goes on and on. There will be links at Packard Pokes at WordPress.com. It shows a map of all the states and has a list of which state you're in if you can. But the interesting part about this is, now that DOMA is dead, if somebody wants to be married, and if they're gay and they want to be married, 2 men, 2 women, they live in a state like Wisconsin, for example, or New Mexico or Arizona or some of these other places that don't allow gay marriage to be thought of as legal, for that matter, they can go up and they can sue the state government. Now that the state government can be sued on this, all they got to go is, well, the federal government says that same-sex marriage is legal. It may take a little bit of doing because some of it's written into their constitutions, but the state constitutions can be changed. Not easily, but it can be changed. And I'm so looking forward to see all the states allow gay marriage everywhere. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, there was 2 rulings on this. The first one shot down DOMA.
All right.
And that opens up same-sex marriages getting the benefit of federal benefits, like straight marriage from the federal government.
Yeah.
Then the second ruling shot down Prop 8, which said that California wasn't allowed to restrict it.
Right.
So now that kind of sets a precedent for the other states that have actively restricted it. It's going to be harder for those states to justify the laws on their books, knowing that the Supreme Court has shot down another state for trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
So it's hopefully cracking open the door for nationwide equality. We'll see where it goes from here, because it was a great day when that came down.
So, oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we talked about this on the show back in the spring when they were hearing arguments on this.
Yep.
And we said on the show back then, we're like, oh, can't wait to see what happens. Well, here it is. This is what happened, and it turned out good.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Absolutely. Medusa, your thoughts?
Well, I've been getting a lot of calls from my LGBT friends and saying, Jenny, what does this mean? Practically, what if I go to Hawaii and get married? And does Utah recognize my marriage? I mean...
Well, Hawaii, actually, right now, they legalized civilized unions back in 2012. But Hawaii is still banned same-sex marriage in 1998. So I
was just using that as an example.
Oh, all right, okay. But just for factual
California, then. So you get married in the sunny state of California. You're still married in Utah.
Yes. Well, technically, yeah. The state may not want to recognize it, but all they got to do is they may all have to do
Supreme Court.
Yep. Yeah. Just go. Yeah. They have to the state court. They'll have to take it to court.
You have to defer to them. I mean, that's why they're there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the thing is, there was some dissent on this thing. Anthony Scalia, for example, he does not like it. You know why? And I challenge anybody out there that is anti-gay or gay marriage. I got to ask, what is it about gay marriage that freaks you out? What?
I know.
Why do you think it's going to affect your marriage? If you can give me one good answer why it's going to affect your personal marriage or anybody's right to get married, tell me. You show me what those reasons are.
What I say is go ahead and let them get married and get divorced like everybody else.
Right. Hey, I have no problem with
that. That makes it very real to a lot of people.
Yes, it does.
Few words, and they clearly get the message. That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
Join the party.
Right.
50% of all unions are dissolved. Please join us. I mean, I spent 5 years in divorce court. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know.
Joe, you had something you wanted to add on that?
Oh, yeah. Medusa, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the shooting down of DOMA make it so that, like, let's say somebody who lives in a state where it's not legal can go to a state where it is legal, get married, come back to their home state, and still get the benefits from the federal government, like the taxes and all that? Yeah, so it pretty much eliminates. All they have to do is go to a state where it's legal, boom, come back, and they won't get the state benefits, but whatever.
Yeah, the thing is, most people don't see when the Supreme Court rules on things. Generally, you don't see widespread activity on it right away. I mean, it doesn't affect people immediately. However, I heard a story this morning on one of my podcasts I listened to that somebody, as soon as the ruling came down, a guy took the ruling, a copy of the ruling, took it, ran 5 or 6 blocks down to immigration, where a guy who was legally married to another man in New York State, but because he was going to be deported, they were going to kick him out because his visa had ran out or whatever. Even though he was legally married, the federal government didn't recognize that marriage. Now that the federal government has recognized the marriage, he was actually ran down there, handed them the papers where it said the federal government recognizes this marriage, and the guy was able to stay in this country.
I'll be darned.
Yes, and
I would like to add that I'm available to be married to anyone for $10,000.